looking at Lance Stroll. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. Next up for the team, it's Latifi. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. The race start is mere seconds away.
Hello everyone, welcome to a new series for Apple Manager 22, potentially a final one. Finally time to get started with the Canada Challenge. It's fairly simple and straightforward. We start with Williams, we will be keeping Latifi, but we will be picking up Stroll as soon as we can. Canada Challenge is basically just that. We have Latifi, we have Stroll, the two Canadians, and then we add a bunch of limitations to our save game to make it last a little bit longer, be a bit more realistic maybe, and a bit way more interesting. So, as I said, we're going to have Latifi, we're going to have Stroll. Those are going to be our two drivers for the entirety of the challenge. Basically, we're going to be trying to win with them. Very straightforward on that end. And the other limitations that we have are mainly to development, some to staff, some to pit crew, some other ones, so we'll be going to them in short order. So let's start with the less complicated ones before we get into the more annoying ones. So first and foremost, the facilities. It's actually pretty simple. We are not allowed to upgrade any facilities past our current season. That means that for season 1, max level is 1. The exception would be the two facilities have already been upgraded past that. Season 2 would be allowed to upgrade everything to level 2, season 3 level 3, and then until we reach maximum. The only exception to this is the weather center, because the weather in this game is horrid to predict, and it will be more painful than challenging. You'd basically have no chance during wet races because it would always be a gamble. So that is how we're going to handle facilities. When it comes to staff, we're not allowed to make any changes really, unless they're free agents. Might revisit that, but in general we'll be keeping our staff for the most part, so no big changes there. When it comes to pit crew, we will keep this on balance. If we'll slow down our pit stops, it will be a bit painful to deal with, but that is something we can live with. And from season 2 and forwards, for our car here, we're going to be switching to Renault Engine, which is the slowest one. And for development, we'll be working on a rotating seasonal system. So for the first season, we can use CFD for every single one of our parts pretty freely. But if I want to use, say I start with using CFD wind tunnel on my underfloor, if I want to use it again within the current season, I need to use a full CFD and wind tunnel cycle on my Sidepods, rear wing, front wing, chassis, and suspension. I need to do every part before I can do the same part again. And for next year, we'll only be allowed to use CFD on chassis, Sidepods, and suspension, and basically we'll alternate between season to season. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just a system to slow us down a bit. Also, once research become available, we'll not be doing it. Research is blocked for us. And when it comes to designing parts themselves, we, as I said, put in CFD, wind tunnel. We're free on that. But we will have to use presets. We're not allowed to touch the sliders. So use presets for everything. And that's generally it. We're not allowed to use emergency manufacture unless it's a race weekend and we have an accident. Let's say that we only have 2 chassis, for instance, and we have an accident, meaning that we can't actually put a chassis on the car. Only that, then are we allowed to use emergency manufacture. If you have an earlier chassis, we need to go back to it. Rush is all we're allowed to do, really. So yeah, those are basically the limitations that we have put for ourselves here. That is going to be the plan. Drivers, as I said, going to be Latifi and Stroll. We'll be picking him up as soon as possible. And for race restrictions, the only real restriction there is we're not allowed to put in any more than an extra lap of fuel. So let's get right into it. The first things first is to negotiate with Stroll and get him into the team. When it comes to this first season, I'll be leaving out a lot of race footage, basically because of the limitations. We're going to be pretty far back. I'll be showing you if we get in the points, but generally this will be more of a speed run until we are competitive, at least in terms of footage shown. If you dislike this, let me know. If you like it, let me know, and it'll help me get better ideas on how I can make, hopefully, good content. So yeah, let's get the Stroll, and I'll negotiate a contract with him, and we'll see where we end up. Here we are. Negotiations have been completed. As you can see, we'll be paying Stroll a salary of 3 million a year, 5 season contract. A starting bonus of 400,000. Needed to go that high in order to make sure that we do not need to pay him a race target bonus. Might be paying a bit too much here, honestly. I think, bit unsure. But this is what I expected him to accept, and he did. It's going to cost us about 4 million, which is of course acceptable to us. We do need Stroll for this challenge, so let's get him in the car. There we are. We now have both Stroll and Latifi present, which should make things a bit more interesting. Again, Latifi, we really need to get up his braking stat. Same for Stroll, really. The main reason why Stroll is slow is actually his braking stat. He's actually pretty good in the consistency department. Pretty good in the racecraft department too, but we are going to have to get his braking stats up. Again, 3 seasons, he'll probably be around 90, which should speed him up quite a bit. Latifi, though, is going to be a bit of a harder nut to crack. He has average growth potential, Stroll has the same, but I believe Latifi has a bit lower. Now, with that out of the way, we can actually start designing car parts. And the first thing we're going to make is, of course, the underfloor. There's just no reason not to. And going to make the underfloor. And I think maybe we'll make a different part as well. We'll have a look. I'm a bit undecided as of now. And our car is currently the weakest car in terms of low speed. We could put it to low speed performance. Even then, it doesn't actually give us what we need to compete with the others. And low speed performance would actually give us worse cornering. Have a look at this. Low speed is 2392. High speed is 2340. Sorry, I misinterpreted those numbers pretty badly. It would help, really help us on the high speed though. But I think what we are going to do here is just go low speed. It's going to be necessary, I think. Either that or we focus both rear wing and front wing on low speed. But let's go high speed performance. Need that little bit extra top speed. We'll focus the front wing on low speed, rear wing on high speed, and then we'll balance it out as we go. I had a bit of trouble with this during the Haas stream, which served as practice for this, but we will be going high speed. It's I think it's more important to us to get our top speed going, get our DRS into a better position, and then work from there. So put 5 engineers on that, put it on intense. Just objectively the best way to progress. There we are. And second part here, remember I need to do one addition of every part before I can design a second underfloor. So even if I want to design a second underfloor early, I still need to make the rest of the 5 other parts before I can do so, even without CFD. So what we are going to do here is actually do the rear wing immediately. And we are going to be doing that too, with a high speed focus. As you can see, it's actually going to make us even weaker on the low speed cornering here. You can see dirty air cornering, it's at 12%. We could do low speed performance, honestly. We lose a little bit of speed of the DRS, but we lose a lot in just straight up top speed. So I think we will doing high speed resets first, and then work from there. Cornering is king, don't get me wrong, but we'll be putting the front wing to work on that. So rear wing and front wing, sorry, rear wing underfloor will be our first project, and once that rear wing is done, we'll probably put this project onto a front wing, I think, and then we'll have to make the other parts here. So maybe I should start with a weaker part, but at the same time, if we want to try and snatch any points when the other cars start getting weaker engines, I think this is the way we're gonna have to do it. So we have been welcomed to the team. A bit late, we've already done actually quite a lot of things. We've signed a new driver. Let's go a different one. And with the extra money that we have right now, just under 10 million, I'm going to start off the upgrade on the weather center. It's just that important to me. So I think we have everything in order now. Gone through the restrictions, got Latifi and Stroll. So we'll just speed things through. If anything of interest should occur during the next few, well, not really races per se, during the next few, well, races to be fair, I shall let you know. But other than that, I will, as I said, be leaving out a lot of the boring stuff, races with no points, when we do not progress parts, things like that. So the first season here might be actually condensed into this one video, we'll see. So Lance Stroll has been signed. We have sponsor obligations. We might as well have a look on these. So driver appearance for both. This is gonna hurt a little bit. Luckily, it's just 10 of the races. But as you can see, it's gonna pull some experience gain. Memorabilia, morale boost. I'm happy, I don't care. Pit crew performance will be freezed on 15 races. That's not good. Race simulator, weekly experience boost reduced. Merchandising. Honestly, these are not the worst ones. At least we don't have anything that should, you know, cause car crashes. I will approve the party request. It's cheap. And no reason not to start the season off with a party. Testing results in Bahrain. Again, we are the slowest car by far. Nothing too surprising there. So with that in mind, let's get into Bahrain. And we'll see if we can snatch some points. Not unexpectedly, we finished Bahrain 19 and 20th. Basically, the final two positions. Nothing really happened during the race, no accidents, no anything. So we're just here on the experience stream. As you see, 0.99 multiplier for Latifi, 1.16 for Stroll. So until we get a better car and get a little bit extra points for qualifying, it's going to take a while to level them up until they become competitive. So because of this, we'll be leaving out a lot of the early races, mainly because there's nothing really happening and we don't really have a chance to fight. There were 10 seconds, I believe Stroll was, behind 18th. And then we have Latifi another 20 seconds behind Stroll again. And again, this is without any accidents with the soft, medium, soft strat. So we just need to get our drivers leveled up and our car developed. Here we are at Australia. Qualifying has just finished. As you can see, still back of the grid. Haven't gotten any upgrades yet. But what we have done is prep ourselves to start taking penalties. And the reason why we're taking penalties this early is actually fairly straightforward and simple. It's so that we will have more cars to use later in the season when we are more, well, in a better position to challenge. So we're going to order for both our cars here. It's going to be expensive. An extra set of components. And it is a bit gamey, let's be honest, to do this. But at the same time, it allows us to take advantage later on in the season if we should have the need. And it also kind of accident proofs us because we're not going to reach cost cap. We're going to have money left over at the end of the season no matter what happens. So what we're basically doing is just future proofing ourselves against accidents and also making sure that we won't get blindsided later on in the season. And that is my whole idea. We're probably going to still be finishing at the end of the pack we have for the last couple of races. But I think this is a fair thing to do. Again, might be a bit gamey, but I feel like it's necessary if you want to make sure that we have the parts that we need later on. Just finished the Australian Grand Prix, and as you can see, we have received our first points. Stroll, Latifi still finishing at the back of the grid. No big surprise there, but of course, both of them have a point. It will go into braking for both drivers. There's really no reason not to. It is the best stat. In terms of our staff, head of aerodynamics here has actually got a point. And I think we are going to be putting that into high speed downforce, bringing him up to 72. Rest of the staff here does unfortunately not have any points that we can invest right now. Not a problem in itself. And as you can see, we have some requires response emails. So we have a regulation mode here. Minor technological changes. And we're going to go with minimal here for... Honestly, we should probably go for moderate. Again, it's just 5 to 10% on what I assume is everything. So if we go for moderate here, it's a 10% hit for everything. We aren't that high up yet. Like, our pieces are still lacking. So bringing the others down to our level would be good. The board finds it to be a difficult race. We did beat one Aston, the other Aston beat us. We were sandwiched 18 and 19th, but I can accept that. Again, we still haven't had any upgrades come in. Our first one is actually coming in right now, the rear wing. And research unlock won't do it, so it doesn't matter. Minor technical changes have gone through, with only Haas and McLaren voting against. So it'll be a -10 to every stat next season, which again, it's not great for us, but we already have such a low starting point I'm not exactly worried. So next race is in 2 days. Even if we rush the parts, won't make it. So, sorry, let's see. We can make one if we rush it. So let's rush a rear wing. And we'll put it on Stroll's car, I think. We'll make the remaining wings later, but as you can see, even with the money we spent on the extra parts last race, we still have 16 million in the bank. So rush one rear wing, and we'll make the others normally. And we will now create a new pod. I don't know if we have. It'll take 12 days until we get next set of ATR TFD. So we'll wait to do the front wing until we receive it. That will design a suspension. As you can see, even a suspension would give us some pretty massive gains all around, really. It won't really improve our current rating against our opponents, but if you look at it from purely a stat game perspective, it is still pretty significant for such a small pod. So with that, let's get the suspension underway. And I think that was everything. Again, we'll have a look at how that rear wing stacks up once we get to Emilia Romagna in just a couple of days. There we are. And what I actually want to do here is immediately manufacture 3 more. So we have them lying around. There's no need to rush a lot of them. We can only get one there in time. And as you see, gains that we get stat-wise with this rear wing, it would actually put us, well, weaker than our other car, but it is a gain, and we're still behind the other cars around us. Like, we're still behind Aston in most aspects. If we have a quick look here, our analysis of our car versus, say, the Ferrari. Currently, Ferrari is the best car, only beaten out by Red Bull in acceleration. We're lacking quite a bit, let's be honest here. We have a lot of work ahead of us to catch up to this, and as you know, as the season progresses, the AI stats are going to get better as well. So we do have some work again cut out for us. Not much we cannot really do about that. We just need to take it as it goes. But before we do anything else, let's go to the warehouse. Put this on car 2. I think Stroll is our best bet, and that should be acceptable. Now, I haven't actually taken any performance targets yet because we can't reliably hit 15. So we'll get through Emilia here and see where we stack up. Stroll with his new rear wing gave us the best seasonal result we've had, much up by Schumacher and his 3 pit stops. Crashed, pitted, crashed within 2 laps again. So yeah, Schumacher helped a lot. No safety cars, but as you can see, Stroll can now on pace beat the Astons. So I'm looking forward to seeing once we get the underfloor.
And there it is. That's where they spin out.
As you just saw, we had our first accident of the season. A good old spinner.
Was a bitter blow for the team.
From
And it
Latifi.
may have really...
Here we are, 5 races in after Miami Grand Prix. Leclerc 1, Verstappen, Perez 2 and 3, Sainz 4th, Merck 5 and 6. I think we're going to see a lot like this during the season. However, rear wing didn't do us any wonders. As you can see, we're still 18th and 20th. Probably going to be there for quite a while, to be fair. Not much we can really do about it, try and jump up the ranks. But I thought since we're 5 races into the season, I'd give you an update on the standings. So Driver Championship, Leclerc is currently winning. That's actually quite a huge gap. Verstappen 1 point ahead of Sainz. Perez 4th, and then we have 2 Mercs. Bottas 7th, 2 Alpines, and then Show in 10th. We're still behind Aston. Nothing much we can do about that. And in Constructors, Ferrari has quite the healthy lead to Red Bull. So we'll see how this looks in another 5-6 races, probably around Austria. But yeah, I think we also have actually a rear wing, well, not a rear wing, the underfloor upgrade incoming now before the next race as well. So let's just speed along. We're getting about 3.5 million every race, meaning that we do have a sizable amount of income. I wouldn't be concerned from that regard. And as you can see, we do have both the underfloor and the suspension coming in now before the next race. So in Spain, usually a track where you can take advantage of tires of AI. You could potentially have underfloor for both our cars, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we also need to start developing something new, which will be the front wing. Put in all of our CFD and wind tunnel. Shouldn't be a problem. Kind of need to. And this one will of course be focused on to low speed performance. We kind of need to. It's the only way we really can balance out the front and the back. And even then, as you can see, the only thing that gained an increase in here, I would get this minimal top speed and acceleration, because there's no actually change in the stats. But again, will help for the future. That's basically what this season is, building for the future. So we'll get that front wing on intense going as usual. And we have the suspension design done. I am thinking that the next thing we design is the Sidepods. I believe they take longer. And of course, we're just going to do them race performance. It is the best thing. Almost everything to the right, like you would do normally. But this again too will also give us a small boost. It's a minimal in the cornering and the dirty air. But it does give us a bit of top speed and acceleration, which honestly we need right now. That's not bad. Let's get the Sidepod under development, which also now means that the next thing we need to design before we can start the second round would be the chassis. But let's manufacture the suspension. We have 5 days. Can we make 2 sets of suspension for the race? No, we can only make 1. So we're just going to do it normal. We're going to make 4. And again, we are going to be prioritizing Stroll. I think Stroll is our best bet when it comes to actually getting points. Points. Also, I have been upgrading the facility. One facility, that is. The weather center is currently going up to level 4, as you can see. And I'm just going to be maxing this one out fairly quick. Other than that, I haven't touched the facilities so far. Typical race, board wasn't happy with Miami. Understandable, but then again, we don't really need too much before the board will be very, very happy with this. And even then, as you can see here, the new underfloor is quite the upgrade. And once we get the next one too, just the intense design, it's going to become even better. So let's continue to race weekend. I'm going to set up the car. So we did make a suspension. We have made the underfloors. And we are going to go ahead here and just manufacture 2 more underfloors. On normal, I need to rush these. There's no real need. And we'll have a look at how the car looks now. First and foremost, the underfloors. It is going to boost us up into 9th, as you can see, in terms of high speed. Not really that useful for Spain, but it's going to be useful in the long run. Means that our next underfloor, when we make one, is probably going to be focused on low speed. Try and balance it out. But this is quite a sizable upgrade, and should help us potentially score points some places. And if we add the suspension on top of that, we actually do have one slightly improved suspension. Slap that on car 1. And the number 3 suspension here, you see it does hurt brake cooling a bit, which could be bad. But it does give increased speed, does give acceleration, a little bit of gain in everything. And honestly, that is kind of what we're looking for. So with that, I think we are ready to go to Spain. And once again, I'm not going to be putting in any performance targets. There's just no need. Because, well, it would just be a waste of money. So I'll be doing Spain here, and let's see if we can get, maybe not into points, but maybe into Q2. Spain is just finished, as you can see. 16th and 18th, so we have better. Quality didn't go our way, unfortunately, but race pace was better. We are now quicker than the Astons. Schumacher did another Schumacher, that's why he's squeezed in between. Generally a good race, I'd say, and hopefully with a couple more upgrades we can start maybe competing for points later on in the season. We'll see, but so far looking pretty good. We are about to start Baku. Just a quick update here because Stroll has got himself a point. Goes into braking. Currently, again, we're not doing very well. We also need to renegotiate Latifi's contract, but we do have Baku coming up, and our parts should be coming up in 12 days, which I don't think will be in time for Canada. Nope, will be maybe in time for Silverstone, so I'll have an update for you probably around then. We're at Bahrain. Latifi has crashed. Sorry, not Bahrain, Baku. The bus that would be. Latifi has crashed. I don't think there's any real damage to the car, as you can see. Most components are still looking good. Major damage to front wing, minor damage to chassis. Not much we can do there. Probably gonna have to go for another set of mediums here. Make it last to the end. Could do a cheeky medium to soft if we get the chance here, but honestly, I don't think that's happening. We're still lacking a lot of turning, which is why we are at the back here. We have been going for the two-stopper. There has been now, this is the third virtual safety car, I believe. So we don't have any real safety cars. This season we've had one in Jeddah. So not much we can actually do about that. But we'll see how this race ends. I am asking myself if the game might need a restart. This is the fourth VSC here. We might want to take advantage of this, but Stroll is already, as you can see by the pit straight. But we are going to be diving in to hopefully get it under this VSC, get him onto the soft here for the end. And hopefully we might be able to hunt down some of the other cars, we'll see. I did complain about safety cars, and immediately Stroll has strolled, let's just put it like that. So we're going to get Latifi in for softs. I would assume Stroll is out here, it's a full safety car. We'll see. But yeah, this has not been a good race for us.
Okay.
Honestly, Baku was probably one of the places where we could potentially have snuck into points. 4 VSCs, 1 safety car, 3 course safety car. It's actually red flagged. So not going to help Latifi really at all here. We're going to get him onto the soft tires. If Latifi had crashed, might have been a little bit better. But yeah, this is not the best result for us here in Baku.
And it's lights out.
So overtake, push fuel, 10 laps. I guess we could go a bit aggressive on the tires, just give him every advantage that we can here. And let's see if Latifi maybe can do something, but as you can see, he's already losing out to the car in front. The Schumacher show Gasly's up in the points here with that red flag. Other than that, the Astons have gained some advantage, but with everyone on the same tire, we do have a fresher tire than Show, for instance, fresher tires than Rick, Magnus, and Tsunoda. But I doubt we'll be able to make anything out of this. We'll see at the end. We have another safety car here, just a couple laps after we were allowed to start racing. Still, no moves from Latifi. Should get points here, I guess, due to safety car. We'll see. It's Leclerc and Verstappen by the looks of things. Oh wow, so Leclerc should be safe. I guess Verstappen might be out. We'll see. Yeah, we're gonna have a Leclerc on our ass here, and that's not gonna be a good time. So speed it up here, see how it goes. I would assume Leclerc's gonna be pitting. There it goes. And as I said, we are gonna be having fully charged Leclerc on our butt here, and that's going to be a rough time for all involved. Safety car is ending.
Safety car in this lap.
Gonna wait a little bit with using energy until we cross the timing line, just so we don't waste it. And now we go overtake. I'm just gonna speed things along again. I expect Leclerc to more or less immediately overtake us. We suck at low speed cornering, and there are a lot of 90-degree turns that well require. You can already see that we have been dropped from DRS here. So oh, never mind, we have another crash, another virtual safety car, Tsunoda. So to be fair though, if this keeps up, we might get points by virtue of safety cars. So this would be the 5th VSC this race so far this race, and we've had 2 safety cars. I think we almost have had more yellow laps than we've had racing laps at this point. So let's just go full attack here to the end. See if Latifi can get a little bit higher up on the scoreboard, so to speak. So as you see, with Latifi, with Stroll, still pretty damn slow, even if we have the upgrade. As I said, that Latifi gets an overtake done due to having DRS, get immediately taken back. Might be able to get show in now towards the end, we'll see. And we've almost completely burned out those softs, so I would assume not. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It's gonna take time. Like, we're gonna need a season to level up our boys to start with. Latifi did also have chassis damage, so it's understandable. We'll have to see exactly what sort of damage Stroll actually got here. But Verstappen taking each other out. Well, Verstappen taking like 12 out was more like it hit the wall and then got his ass into the Ferrari. Did get development pointer for Latifi. And again, we just need to get their braking stat up, make them a bit more competitive. We'll also have a look now at what we got in terms of damages, because that was a 5 virtual 2 safety car race, where we caused, I believe, one of the safety cars. Latifi upgrades his average, and let's just quickly have a look here at the car of Stroll. How badly did he mess up the powertrain? So the engine took a whack, gearbox took a whack. Not too bad here, we can live with that. But yeah, we'll get some upgrades after Canada, and I'll be back then with more information about where we stand. It is going to be really difficult here. Aston's already got a point. It's going to be really difficult for us to get a point during this season, I think, just because the drivers are a limiting factor, not really the car. We're currently in Canada, home Grand Prix. As you can see, it's wet. We've had an incident, though, involving Latifi. No big surprise. Currently, we are out on the wets still. Our center isn't fully upgraded. We're about 80% accuracy, so we're not really there. Problem is, we're probably going to have to go inters, and I mistimed the window, so this is going to hurt. But we'll see if we can get Stroll in. He was 10th before this first set of pit stops. We'll actually see where we end up coming out. And Latifi has, as I said, had an incident. We'll have a quick look here. He's off the track. He has a puncture. Minor damage to suspension and chassis, but I would assume that he can still keep going. He was already set up for an inter switch, so we'll keep that going. And I don't think this will be a full safety car. I don't think so, at least. We'll see. Okay, maybe he's out. I think he's out. He wasn't done. Yeah, gearbox is gone. This was a fairly fresh one too. And terminal damage to chassis, suspension, rear wing. Yeah, he's out. Sure, that is a safety car. And with that, we might actually get Stroll in and out without too much of an issue here. We'll see. Where does Stroll actually come back into the race? He came up in 9th, so we have benefited.
Yeah,
again, before this, he was 10th. Albon is probably going to have to pit as well. This is potentially the race where we will score points. So let's see how this goes.
Sounds like there's been contact. We can take a look now. Now we see the Williams here. Oh no!
Okay, we can't actually blame Latifi for it either. The Aston straight up took him out and sent him flying like a rocket there. Vettel with a penalty for that, which is understandable. Again, he got kind of just straight up yeeted. But what is going to be the big one now is this isn't actually going to be, you know, full wets again. Judging by this, it's probably not going to be. And towards the end here, if we are going to be able to get onto the softs here. So, could get interesting. Russell, Verstappen behind us are 2 threats, of course. And we'll see what happens with Albon if he just sticks onto the wet here, or if he ends up switching.
Safety car in this lap.
But we'll see. Safety car is in this lap. We're gonna use what fuel we have. We'll see about using ERS. It would be better if we could get, you know, a position or 2 more. But the threat here is Verstappen and Russell mainly. But yeah, gonna be interesting. Wet is, in theory, one of Stroll's strong suits. So I think what's gonna actually potentially decide this race is if we do a pit stop here Again, this up here in Canada is short, so it might very well be worth it. We'll have to see once we get towards the end here if it's something we too would like to do. Right now though, trying to hunt that Magnussen, and we pulled that off. Very good. We're gonna put the ERS back to neutral just to be safe. And we actually have Albon in front of us, so we're gonna just put it back onto overtake. Give the order to... You know, I don't like that driving clean air order, so I won't touch it because we're already by. But Albon is, as expected, falling back, and if we're lucky here, we might be able to keep him there as a kind of a roadblock. The more he holds up the cars behind, the better for us, really. And right now he did hold up Russell and Verstappen a tiny bit there. So we'll see. Again, potential points for us would be amazing. Shame about Latifi and damage to the car. Potentially we'll just take penalties next race to alleviate that. Currently though, we do have, as you see, Magnussen, Verstappen behind us. It is going to be difficult keeping them behind, even in the wet here. So we'll see just how long Stroll can hold out. It is becoming weathered though. Like, it is going back up. But if this is the peak, I don't know. Is it going to be worth heading for wet tires again? Albon seems to think so. I don't know. Let's have a look and see what Leclerc does here. And we might mimic him. Did not pit. I think we are just going to try and stick this one out, see where we end up. We are going to have to tune down fuel usage now, though, which could be very detrimental to us. Could lead to overtakes. Vettel is also pitting. Track condition changed again to below 4 millimeters. Magnussen spins. Verstappen overtakes us. Not great, honestly. Magnussen behind us was kind of a safety device to some degree, because now we have Russell charging as well, and that could potentially really be bad for us. And again, we are going to have that little bit of soft stretch at the end. That could also be very detrimental to us potentially. Could also hope for safety cars. We can charge ERS, gain a little bit extra fuel. It's not, wouldn't be surprising. Right now Stroll is doing a great job of just kind of holding on. It is going to be the question now on what we want to do. It is 12 laps remaining, and depending on how quickly this dries, we could end up in a situation where we probably are going to have to pit for soft, just because the track is going to be drying super quick. But I think we're just going to be reacting.
Firm on DRS.
Let's push for the next few laps here.
Let's reduce lifting closer.
And because of the DRS, we might actually just straight up get overtaken here. So Ricciardo and Verstappen are both pitting. I think what they're doing is probably the right move. So we'll copy it, get onto the softs, and just push like hell into the pits. And Tsunoda, yeah, sorry, not Tsunoda, Gasly did the same. We'll see where we're at in a couple of laps time. We are getting overtaken in the pit box though by Gasly, which sucks, but what should we do about that? I think we might also get overtaken by Alonso. Yeah, we did. So we got a double overtake in the pit box, and that's not what we like to see. I think we are going to go aggressive here with these tires. Just try and get push as much as we can. See if we can jump some of the other lads that were just ahead of us, just behind us. See here, we have Russell, we have the others now. Where do we come out in correlation to them? We're up into 10th again. Alonso ahead of us. I'm going to deploy all of our ERS here in an attempt to catch up to Alonso. Because we kind of have to. If we want to keep our 1 point here and potentially get more, I think it's going to be reliant on us staying within DRS of Alonso, and in theory here we should have it. Nope, guess not. That is going to be really bad for us that we lost that. Nope, we're actually still in DRS. Gonna go balance now. This is where we're gonna have to make some rough decisions because we might get double overtaked. Yeah, Stroll did get Alonso, which is great.
Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll.
But at the same time, this is potentially bad. So I've tuned down tires, I've tuned down fuel. And I'd really love if we could recharge as well, but that's going to be risky. Because we have Russell right on our backs here. I just want to have a little bit of life left in the car in terms of fuel and tires to fight with Alonso for that ninth place on the last couple of laps. Because that ninth place is actually going to mean a lot to us if we can get it. 4 laps to go. In terms of tires, we are currently at a disadvantage because we did go aggressive, try and keep up. No big surprise there, really. And I'm thinking that we are going to be on the second to last lap, start making some moves. Once this switches to 69, in other words, on the next lap for us, we just started 68. We'll go back to going... We're actually just going to go full attack to the end. And we'll just start it here now. And we might have gotten by like a lap early now. We'll see. I'll save some fuel. But yeah, Alonso is going to get back up around us. And what we can hope now is to push what little fuel we have left. It's barely any. And as I said, I did push a bit too early. And that might come back to bite us here. We shall see.
That's Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is today's winner.
Don't really have any extra energy to deploy here, so this will be DRS mainly that's going to decide. But I think Alonso is just a bit too far forwards. We got the overtake done a lap too early, and that is going to backfire on us now. Unless we get a mega exit here. Just not enough, but still, we got a point. It's not bad. Just a bit of a shame that the wet didn't continue. That we got overtaken by Alonso in the pits, but Lance did start last. So I'd say this is a good result. Unfortunate for Latifi here, who got taken out, but that is racing. We finally got our first point on the board. So as you can see, we're still not meeting the season objective. We're now equal with Aston. We also are going to have to... we're actually out of chassis. That's how badly we've been crashing lately. But we'll get a chassis manufactured before the British GP. Still bad though. Front wing, we should be getting new ones soon. Rear wing, make a new one. Suspension, same. So as you can see, we have taken some damage. But I think what we're going to manufacture first is the suspension. And that should be okay. Now, we might have to cancel the suspension now I think about it, because we are going to have 2 projects coming in fairly shortly here. Exceeding expectations, but is very happy with points. So we have the Sidepod design coming in here now first. And we could manufacture it. It's going to take 8 days. So we'll get 1 in time for the race. We can actually get both in time for the race. But I think we are going to have to cancel the suspension project, because we have another one that's going to be starting pretty damn soon. So it's going to be good. So we made Sidepods, we made suspension, we're currently making front wing. Let's get the chassis design started. And once again, it's race trim. That's all we care about. And the reason why this is such a huge upgrade right now is because we're looking at it from Cars 1 perspective. And Car 1 is currently lacking a chassis. So as you can see, stat-wise, it won't be a huge upgrade. We'll get a bit of a boost in acceleration. We're starting to become pretty good at top speed. Well, pretty good. We're still lacking a ton compared to teams around us. So I wouldn't say a lot, but we're starting to get there. And with that, we now have the front wing too. And because of the manufacturer slots, as I said, we are going to have to go back to our car parts development, current projects, manufacture, and we're going to be cancelling this project for suspension. And we kind of have to if we want to make that front wing. Just limitations with our current setup. And we are going to be manufacturing front wings. We have 9 days for Britain. And that should be no problem to get the front wings manufactured at least. So, kind of lacking parts. Should probably been a little bit more on top of that. But honestly, we're good. And with the chassis we now have in production, we've actually made every part once, technically. What we're going to do, very simple, get an underfloor. And as you can see, currently... Have I not fitted the correct underfloor in the car? Have I made a huge error? Am I being fooled by the numbers here? No, we have the correct underfloor in both cars. But as you can see here, the new underfloor design is actually going to be... massive by the looks of things. High-speed cornering, again, just going to jump straight up to 7th. Mainly due to the focus that we had. I'm wondering if we go low speed now, how we're going to be looking. Still not going to be looking great, but I think we kind of have to. Even though we have focused high speed, we could go just straight in high speed here. Get to 5th. What I'm thinking is basically due to how intense worked. We could go optimize aerodynamics. It would focus all of them. It would put us 3rd in air sensitivity on the underfloor. We'd end up 1st in drag reduction for underfloor 2. As you can see, it's giving us a pretty huge increase in both of these, catching up to the other teams. But I think we're just going to do another high-speed one. We are going to be needing to focus low speed at one point. But it's basically what we want to do. Basically where we want to start. Honestly, getting our car into the midfield is probably more important right now, so it is maybe a bit of a waste, but we'll do this. Put in 5 engineers, put it on intense, and it'll be done in August. So, second underfloor on the way. Again, we are missing car parts, but we can fix that. We get everything going. Suspension, low stock. I know. Tried to solve that, but couldn't. Weather center upgrade completed. We're going to immediately just maximize that, because we'd probably have a better chance of Canada if we knew exactly how much rain we were going to getting. New ATR period. It's going to be going into the rear wing as soon as the chassis is done. Gearbox in poor condition. Of course, we know that. Which might start to renew his contract. Judging by this, he has about 600,000 a month. Sorry, not a month, a year. 630, so I wasn't that far off. So we'll just renew this quick, give him 800,000, 5 seasons, and I'll give him extra 100k as well, because we can actually pay him a lot more if we really wanted to. We have the money. And he's very happy with all this, so we'll just get him here now. Boom, Latifi 5 seasons, and we also have Stroll 5 seasons. We'll have both of them. And let's see here. We can now put together a car for the British Grand Prix. I hope. New board confidence check-in. Good result. The thing is, we are lacking a bit here, so we might need to fix that. So as you can see, just getting this chassis on the car is gonna improve it massively. And have front wings for both cars. It's not a huge upgrade, as you can see, by any stretch of imagination. Doesn't actually bring us any closer to our rivals right now. But we're giving a 2% boost here, almost 1% here, slight high speed. So generally, once we've made a couple more upgrades, it's going to look a lot better. I also did have a Sidepod incoming. That's actually going to increase our speed quite a bit. It's going to bring us closer on the high speed corners. General upgrade that helps us out with everything. I think that was it. Are gonna have to probably make some more suspensions. Yeah, we can actually do that now. So let's manufacture. Honestly, let's manufacture Sidepods. It takes a long time. Should probably rush these, but I need to do inventory management after this race, which is kind of lacking. So, with every car part except the chassis having been upgraded once, let's see where we're at in comparison to, say, Aston Martin. So, we're currently beating them out on top speed. They are beating us on low speed cornering, high speed cornering. So, generally, I think we're getting closer to the point here now where we can probably beat them on the regular. But I don't know why the 15th and 14th. Currently, we're sharing that with a lot of other cars, so not really beating them out by a lot here. And the low speed cornering really need to increase because look at how far ahead of us they are. So it was a good thing that I chose it. With that in mind though, I'll be heading to the British Grand Prix. See where we end up after that. We've just finished the British Grand Prix. We ended up outside of the points. Most of that event, not much really happening. Had Latifi wrecking out the front wing, but other than that, not really much going on. Stroll did get a point though. Goes into braking, breaks that 70 margin. And with that, we'll head straight to Austria. Should be a very interesting Austrian GP here. We have rain for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is going to be interesting to watch. We had a raining weekend, but unfortunately it looks like we won't get any rain in the qualifying. So what we're going to do here is try our damnedest to see if we can quali for reach Q2 for the first time this season. Because it would be, this is a huge potential chance, but if we can pull it off or not, it's going to be a completely different story. So let's see how this quali goes. 1063. That is the greatest lap time. Yeah, we're already beaten out by McLaren's. We did beat Albon though. And again, since we're expecting rain for the race, there's no problem with using even 2 sets of extra self-save if need be. But so far, it looks like we're going to have a really, really rough time getting into Q2 with just a single car. We'll have to see here. It's going to be a struggle. If Stroll beats Albon and Vettel, maybe Schumacher, maybe I don't know who else, Latifi, then we might make something work here, but it's gonna be difficult. We basically need to beat out Tsunoda, Magnussen, or Show. It is a 10th, but let's be real here. A 10th in Austria is kind of a rough one, no matter what we're gonna do. I'm just sending out Latifi a bit earlier here, but even then he kind of got blocked. So we'll see if Stroll actually makes it to the line in time here. It's gonna be close. Yeah, he made it, but again, gonna be a bit close. Let's see where we actually end up here. So Stroll could not improve. 16th and 18th. So far is better, but it's just such a shame that with rain we were beat out by 0.002 of a second. That's honestly kind of heartbreaking. Here we are, the race itself. It isn't actually going to start raining until around lap 39, so that means we can mess around a little bit with strategy. So what do I expect here? Compound performance. If we can do 2 sets of softs before, you know, the rain, that would be great. It is a very long pit lane though, 27 seconds, but with literally no degradation between the tires. As long as we can run, well, it wouldn't really help. 39 laps, we need to run 20 laps on each tire. It is definitely doable with the soft. Run 20 laps on each tire. 3/10, 20 laps. Just be 6 seconds about. So 12 seconds on the hards. So if we stretch the hards, we're gonna make it into the rainy period. No problem. And if the AI starts medium, we are gonna be taking advantage. So I think we actually just start hards. It's not anything special here with this strategy. We just start hards. We refuel by laps to try and keep up with the rest of the cars around us. Again, we're going to be slower by 0.6. It's basically going to be lap 30 before we become equal to the medium runners. But I think it might be worth it to do this, because a 27-second pit stop, even again with the advantage there, it's not worth it for us to do a pit stop before we end up actually getting there. So then 3 laps. I hope I didn't overfuel now. I think it's 72, isn't it? Or is it 71? It's 71, so I overfueled twice there. Let's tune that down. There we are. Almost made a mistake by running my mouth while trying to explain my strategy. But yeah, I think we're just going to do hards to mediums, and we'll see where we're at in when the rain starts. So we've had a little bit of a spinner, and Austria seems to just be Pain City lately on every single save. So Stroll spun out of 15th. He was with Magnus and Ricciardo. As you can see, most people are actually on the hards, so they will be fine until it starts raining. Yet another lockup from Stroll, as you can see. And he decided to just park and let everyone by, so he also picked up some underfloor damage there. That's gonna be a sad time for us, honestly. Unfortunately, Latifi though doing great, overtaking show up into 14th. So Latifi actually doing great right now. Yet another lockup from Stroll, minor this time, but still there. We'll see how many more mistakes he ends up with before the race is over. It was on turn 2 though, so bit of a late announcement there. Just ran wide, locked up. We've had yet another incident. Multiple cars have crashed. If it is a safety car, that would benefit us greatly. But it looks like it's just yellow for now. Yellow flags.
Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris.
Okay, so they just... Norris kind of just turned into the Alpine there, but Ocon got the penalty. Very, very interesting. Fortunately, no safety car, as it would have helped us out a lot, but Ocon did pit, and he's now behind us. We're getting to the wet weather area. You see, in 4 minutes, it's going to start raining. A bit earlier maybe than expected, but then again, laps here are just over a minute, so we will do our best here now. So we can just go full on attack. No real reason to hold anything back on these tires anymore. Go full on attack, try and close the distance a bit. Joe has left Latifi behind, but Norris also did end up pitting. And since we have a 30-second pit lane here, we're actually going to send Latifi in. It should be full wets, so we can do the same here for Stroll, in for full wets, and we'll see how we stand at the end of the next lap. Again, should be 30 seconds in the pit lane. It has actually started raining right now, so Latifi entered it at potentially the perfect time here. It's going to be damp when it comes out. 2.7 second stop. Not bad. The drivers in front now are also started pitting, so won't get as much of an advantage here, but we will push. And I am tempted to run it a little bit aggressively here. But just this outlap, see if we can get a little bit of an advantage. Severely overheating though is not something that we'd like to see, so we'll tune it down again. It is going up rather slowly though, so it might have been the wrong choice to jump directly to the wets. We shall see. What have the other cars here chosen as their tires? So we went full wets. It is still going up. Hamilton went inters. Alonso Bottas went wets. Let's see, Latifi has jumped up to 15th. He still has 2 drivers in front of him that are running soft compounds. Should have no problem getting Ocon. Norris, very good. Actually getting Leclerc here, potentially. And Tsunoda's in the pits. Are we going to get him? No, we're not. But still, good race so far from Latifi. Stroll is still in 18th. Ocon is still out on the softs. This is madness. Just give him the overtake. Give him a little bit extra oomph there. Yeah, we'll have to see what the 4 inter runners end up doing here, if we end up overtaking them. But we're going to speed it up here in this episode with the race, I think. I was planning to do just a full season in one, but since we are starting to become more competitive, I think we will split it in 2. Just to make it...
Increase lifting coast.
a little bit better. So we're going to do this race. Again, we don't really have much of a chance there of getting in the points. It's going to require intervention of some kind. Stroll was our best hope, but again, he ran wide 3 times. Damaged his underfloor. That is going to make life a bit harder for us. We are running slower than the cars in front. So Latifi here really has his work cut out for him. But even then, 13th place for Latifi is something we can be happy with. And the rain should be, again with 90%, it should be wet here until the end. We will see. So I'm just going to speed it up again. Not really much we can do here. The main thing that we're going to be handling is probably just the fuel.
Just had a car run wide.
So unless we have an incident, we don't really have a lot of power here. We're already, again, 13 seconds behind. Rick is actually pitting. Verstappen pitted too. Are these boys pitting onto a new set of wets, or are they pitting onto Inters? There's actually a lot of cars on the Inters here, so maybe I should have done that too. But it's 4.4. Oh wow, we lost out a lot there, Latifi. This might actually benefit us.
And there's an overtake.
I think we'll just stay on the wets, although again, that too is kind of risky. Give Latifi the overtake, see if we can get Rick. And it is switching back and forth, so it's into sometimes, it sweats the others. But I guess what we have to choose now is either we stay on the wets and gamble, or we go on the Inters, because it is kind of starting to light up a bit here. We'll see. I think we're going to have to, again, if we want to have points here, we're going to have to gamble. Rick is doing almost a full second quicker now than us. It's a bit of a difficult one because it's just on the brink between the two. We're quicker now that it is getting higher up, but it's going to be switching back and forth a lot here. And we also be pushing the fuel, and we might have pushed it a little bit too much here because we are at the end of the race and tires are overheating. So yeah, we probably should have gone Inters as well. The second we started slowing down, we're already losing out a ton.
Low fuel, so be mindful of that.
So it's unfortunate, but we're just lacking that little bit extra oomph, I think. Joel with another incident to his name, ran wide.
Was that a lock-up on the track?
Ran wide, locked up. Is it just the natural law at this point that in Austria, one of our drivers need to not make accidents, have problems?
Alfa Romeo.
But yeah, again, without incidents, we're not going to get much further. Magnussen is probably going to overtake us here. Tsunoda might overtake us too, but I think we can still be happy with this.
Someone run wide there?
We'll have to see how we actually end up, because Vettel is gaining too. Stroll in the back. I might have been a bit stubborn here with the wets.
Yeah, copy.
If we'd gotten the pit stop done properly, it would have been a lot better. Down to 18th now. So I gambled and I lost. But that is unfortunately how it is. Should have gone on to Inters, as you can see with the lap times here, for sure. I put a bit too much trust in the weather forecast. But then again, it's been a good start. We only have 1 point. Not too bad. Sainz and Leclerc are fighting for victory. As you can see in the championship so far, we'll see if Red Bull can make it back. Leclerc with 7 out of 11 wins so far. Sainz with 3. And I think Perez had 1. So Verstappen has yet to win a race so far this season. Constructors Championship here. Ferrari still healthy lead. We're up in 9th. So not the greatest start really, but one we can still be kind of happy with, honestly, because with the correct tire strategy, not the one I did today, we might be in potentially the points. Front wing manufacturing has been completed, and what do we have coming future? 5 days before France, we're getting a new chassis. So things are looking up in the future. We'll see. Thank you for watching this first part of the Canada Challenge. let me know what you think of the new format. As I said, once we get more interesting races like this one, although I bungled it at the end, I'll be adding more of it to the videos themselves. But for now, this is going to be the first part of Season 1. Probably going to have one more part for Season 1. Hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see how this challenge of ours is up going. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.